With all the headlines you're waking up to now on ITV1, we join the team for Tuesday's Good Morning Britain.
Good morning, Britain. Horror on the streets of Liverpool as a day of joy turned into a nightmare when a car ploughed into the crowd celebrating their club's Premier League victory parade. 4 children are among the 27 injured as police confirm a 53-year-old white British man has been arrested. The Prime Minister praises the city, saying the whole country stands with Liverpool. We'll speak to one eyewitness who describes how the car missed her by inches.
Well, it had been a day of family celebrations, and very sadly, it's understood 2 people are seriously ill in hospital, including a child. Sir Keir Starmer has described the scenes here in Liverpool as appalling.
In his first major speech since this month's election success for Reform UK, Nigel Farage is expected to call the Prime Minister unpatriotic and out of touch, and promise to reinstate both the winter fuel payment and scrap the 2-child benefits cap.
The dark side of online fandom. Magic Men performer Channing Tatum lookalike Will Parfitt reveals how fraudsters are using artificial intelligence to replicate his face and voice in romance scams to con unsuspecting women out of thousands of pounds.
Sunday the 18th at 5 to 5 in the morning, and managed to get caught up in a small avalanche.
Plus 4 former British soldiers make history, surviving potential avalanche disaster to ascend Mount Everest in under 5 days, and one of them is a government minister.
And it's going to be an unsettled day with outbreaks of rain spreading east and also breezy conditions. All that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain.
Tuesday, 27th of May, 2025. Live from Television Centre in London. This is Good Morning Britain with Susanna Reid and Ed Balls.
Good morning, Britain. Well, our breaking news this morning is that we now know that 4 children were among the dozens injured yesterday as a people carrier was driven into crowds celebrating Liverpool's Premier League victory parade. Firefighters had to lift up the vehicle to rescue a child who was among 4 people trapped underneath it.
The Prime Minister has paid tribute to the city's unity, saying Liverpool stands together and the whole country stands with Liverpool. And our chief correspondent, Richard Gatesford, is at the Nithya Rajan is at Alderhay Children's Hospital for us. Richard, first of all, there was a press conference late last night. Merseyside police saying they're not treating this as a terror incident, but more details of the tragedy which unfolded yesterday afternoon.
Right now.
Whatever the weather, it always feels like home. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsor Good Morning Britain National Weather.
Well, certainly keep your brolly handy if you are going to be heading out through today. It is going to be quite heavy rain we'll be dealing with at times further north across parts of Scotland. It's going to be a real mix of sunshine and showers, so quite changeable conditions here, and also quite windy as this system comes through. Now, at the moment, it is a drier picture out there. That's because we are currently in between systems. But as we head through today, this band of rain will start to make its way eastwards. As you can see, fairly heavy across many southern parts of the UK. Further north across Scotland, Northern Ireland, perhaps something more showery in nature, but all the same, a changeable day. As I say, keep that brolly handy. Temperatures are really bang on average for the time of year in the north and in the south, high of 17, maybe 18 degrees Celsius at a push. Heading into this evening, we'll gradually see that band of rain working its way into the North Sea. Drier conditions coming through behind, clearer conditions as well, but also a few showers which could turn on the thundery side, particularly across parts of the Midlands. In the south, temperatures stay fairly mild. In the north, they'll be close to freezing, particularly in countryside areas.
For the weather in detail where you are, go to itv.com/weather.
Alex, thank you.
Brilliant. Still to come on Good Morning Britain. Surviving an avalanche, still reaching the summit of Everest in a record 5 days. before 8, we'll be joined by 2 British veterans who used a revolutionary gas treatment to reach the top of the world in a very rapid time. Do you know what? One of them is the government veterans minister, the Ministry of Defence. How about that?
We'll talk to him later on. And also this morning, he is a Channing Tatum lookalike. His name is Will Parfitt. He's made a living out of how he looks. But so are the romance scammers. He says angry fans think they are in a relationship online with him and it's left them thousands of pounds out of pocket. He's going to join us after 8. Now, let's get the news, travel and weather where you are. See you in a moment.
Hello, I'm Sangeeta Kandola. Our top story this morning. A 13-year-old girl remains in a critical condition in hospital 3 days after a devastating fire in Brent killed 4 members of her family. Police have named the victims as Nusrat Usman and her 3 children, aged 15, 8 and 4. They were ever young. Travel news now, and Brighton Road in Surrey is partially blocked in both directions. That is due to an accident near Church Lane. And on public transport this morning, there are minor delays on the Central and Metropolitan lines, and there's no service on the Weaver Overground line. That's between Edmonton Green and Enfield Town. Weather time now. Chris has all the details.
Murine Hay Fever Relief Eye Drops sponsors the local weather on Good Morning Britain.
Hello there. Very good morning to you. Well, we start this morning with some fairly bright skies, but those skies will turn hazy as the sunshine disappears behind the cloud, and we start to see more cloud and outbreaks of rain charging in from the west by lunchtime. Steady and heavy in places, giving some spray on the roads. Gusty winds, highs of 17. Bye-bye.
And that is all for now. I'm back just after 7 with more news and travel in and around the capital. Here's Susanna.
6:24 still to come. Shock and horror in Liverpool after that car ploughed through crowds celebrating the Premier League title parade for children. Among those injured, one of them seriously. A man has been arrested and police continue their investigation. We're going to discuss that and all of the day's news next with Andrew Pearce and Jonathan Ashworth.
First, though, 6:24, you're watching Good Morning Britain on ITV1. We'll see you in a moment.
You're doing a terrible job at keeping your eye on my husband-to-be. It's all starting to seem a bit real, that's all.
Just want everything to be perfect.
This isn't what it looks like. Stop lying to me.
If any person knows of any lawful impediment, they should declare it now.
This week on Emmerdale, on ITV1 and ITVX.
.28, welcome back. One story, of course, dominating the front pages of this morning's newspapers. The Good Morning Britain from 6. Now it's time to join Lorraine.
Oh, thank you both so much. After the break, almost 2 years since the Titan sub imploded on that voyage to the wreck of the Titanic, I'm going to be meeting the woman whose husband and son died in the disaster ahead of a brand new documentary on tonight. And after winning a BAFTA for Gavin and Stacey, Ruth Jones is here telling me why she collected her award in her bare feet. And it's been described as, well, a lover's tiff. We've got the inside story on that viral moment between President Macron and his wife, Bridget.